Me and my dad like to go dirt bike riding, usually on weekends. A story that I would like to share with you guys is when me and my dad go, instead of the traditional brah sound that the dirt bikes make, he likes to go Yamaha. So I hear that a lot, and as you can see in the picture, we ride Yamahas together. Here's his bike, and my bike is just over there off to the side. He rides a YZ 450S, and mine's a YZ 85. Today I would like to explain to you the importance of riding safely on a dirt bike. I have over 10 years experience with riding. My dad taught me, and I've also researched some of the laws and regulations on this activity. Everybody likes to do extracurricular activities, but you want to remember that you want to do them safely, no broken bones, and you want to have fun. Today I'll be discussing why riding gear is important to wear and why it's important to never go riding alone. The first thing that I would like to know about, would like you guys to know about is why riding gear is important. The helmet is one of the most important riding gears. As you can see here, this doesn't meet DOT standards, that meets DOT standards. DOT stands for U.S. Department of Transportation. A quote from Motorcycle Safety Foundation says, "The most important piece of protective gear you can wear is a helmet manufactured to meet DOT standards." The next important riding gear that I would like to point out is the boots. They have many different brands and styles. These are just two of some of the styles that are up here. As you can see, I have Fox boots up here in the corner too, that are almost like this. They're formulas, but they're just an older version. These are newer versions of the boots, and these are Alpinestars Boots. Boots, another quote from Motorcycle Safety says, "In case of a crash, boots help provide valuable protection against foot and ankle injuries." It is true because you do not want to ride boots like these that can bend and you can actually maneuver. These boots actually have protective gear that your ankle will not move. They're hard and solid. And here they have metal pieces in case rocks or anything, and you don't want to get hit by anything or catch your feet in something. And those are just a protective thing because many people break ankles, lay the bikes down, and you don't want your ankle to move. The next important piece that I would like to draw your attention to is the chest protector. There are two types of chest protectors. There's men's chest protectors and women's chest protectors. The difference between men and women is women, because of our boobs, have the plastic piece where it's actually vented out, so that way it will actually fit us the correct way. For guys, it's more just a flat because you guys don't have anything there. And the difference between these two is to know if it fits or not is when you put on the protective gear, if you can actually touch the sides or anything is sticking out from right here, then it doesn't fit. And if it doesn't come low enough to about your hips or just above your belly button, it is not the correct way and it will not protect you in case anything happens. Also, you definitely want to wear this. Another story about this is if you're riding behind anybody and you're riding across a rocky area, rocks will fly up. It's called roosting, and that's when you hit the gas really fast and rocks from the person in front of you will come flying back at you. And I've actually had several welts in my arms in the places that my chest protector did not cover me. Luckily I had my chest protector, so everything was safe and it didn't hurt my chest and my heart was protected and everything. As quoted by MotoGuide.com, plastic chest protectors, also known as deflectors, is designed to be worn over your jersey and consists of an injected module during their poly chassis, which chassis is a supporting frame, so these are supporting frames of the shoulders. They should integrate venting and quick lock buckle, which here's the lock buckle, so they're actually attached to you. Closure systems to keep you cool and to make it easy to take on and off. For maximum protection during fast riding or racing, a plastic chest protector is usually the best choice. The second thing I would like to direct your attention to is to never go riding alone. Treadlightly.org says, buddy up with 2 or 3 riders. Riding solo can leave you vulnerable if you have an accident or breakdown. Designate meeting areas in case of separation. So you always want to go riding with people or a group of people. They say to go into 2 or 3. A good example of this is when I was first learning how to ride my bike. Me and my dad were riding together, and my spark plug on my bike got flooded, which it gets filled with oil and all kinds of things. So my bike died. That's it. Was kicking it. Wasn't working. Wasn't turning over. Luckily, Dad already knew, and he's the genius that he is. We had brought the tool to fix it and an extra spark plug, which was in our water thing, which is like a kind of backpack thing that you have an extra zippers, and you can carry keys or anything you can that goes under your chest protector. And we ended up fixing it and making sure everything was working, and as soon as we fixed it, one kick and that bike was brand new again. So make sure you always have extra parts, tools, and in some cases, if you can't fix your bike, a tow strap. Today I've talked to you about why riding gear is important to wear and why it's important to never go riding alone. As you can see, riding gear and not riding alone is very important. Let's just hope that if you decide to ride that you wear the right gear and travel in a group of people. As famous quotes say in dirt bike riding, don't ride over your head and dress for the crash, not for the ride.
So Vincent, what did you think?
I saw him now.
Yeah, I thought he's just come in. I went, oh yeah, that doesn't work too well. Is there somebody you can trade maybe who is supposed to evaluate somebody else today who could offer some comments? All right, Andrew, we'll drop you down here and we'll move Vincent up for Wes's speech. Go ahead.
I thought the speech was very good. She had a lot of information about like riding safety and tools and stuff like that. You could have looked at she could have looked at the crowd a little bit more instead of looking at the cards, but other than that, I thought it was very good and very informative.
Right, Ashley, I think that there's a lot of the speech that works fine. You've got a pretty good opening. You've got a very clear statement of what your goal is. There's a good preview. I think you need an additional run-through because it does sound a little mechanical, and instead of coming naturally, it just seems like you're trying to force it. But you've got the right components in your introduction. The transitions are the biggest weakness that I noticed in the speech. When you get to the first point, it's just basically you're there at that first point, and when you get to the second point, there's not really any internal summary. There's not a realization that we've stopped that first point. We just kind of drop down into the second point. So it's clear, but it's not very graceful, very smooth. On the content issues, I thought that you had pretty solid information. You usually explain things pretty well. There were a couple of exceptions. I thought you did a good job explaining, for instance, the boots and the chest plate. The helmet, you basically show us the picture, you say make sure it's DOT, and that's all the discussion we get about it. So I'm not sure why it is that the DOT standards are so important. We don't have any examples or statistics that apply to problems that have occurred there, and you don't really explain it. So I thought that that was a little bit underdeveloped. But like I said, you did a good job with the boots and with the chest gear. You described all of that and kind of explained why it was important and had some stories that went with it. I thought the story that you told about the, what is it called, rooting? Roosting, you know, and getting the rocks thrown up at you personally was fine. It's a little ambiguous. If you had a really good personal story that went with it, I think that'd be more interesting. But yours is kind of a general example, and it illustrates the point that you're talking about. I thought the visuals were integrated into the speech pretty well. You usually had like a slide picture, and then you had the objects also. The objects give you a chance to interact a little bit more with the visual materials and show us what it is that you're talking about and how some of those things function. So I thought it made it interesting. I didn't really get reference to all of the visuals that were up there, but the boots, for instance, and the chest plates, you did a good job talking about those kinds of things. Like I said before, your transition to the second point was a little bit abrupt. You needed internal summary, some transition language. It just seems to show up, and that felt very awkward. Let's see. At the end, you made some reference to a toe strap. I'm not sure what that is. And I did like the exit line that you had. I thought that was pretty effective. Delivery things are fine. It's just one of those things, if you went through it a couple more times, it would probably sound smoother and more naturalistic. I know you're there. Okay, there you go. All right, thank you.